Are you hearing from anybody else?
No, not yet. But we're live.
Woo! What up, everybody?
We are live. We are competing with Pizzow tonight. I actually
That's like,
watched on his stream. It was pretty interesting, actually.
yeah, it's like he has like for real guests too, man.
Hey, we've had some sort of for real guests.
Yeah, yeah,
We had him.
yeah. We had him. We have for real guests by proxy.
Right.
We had him. He had the other people. Therefore, we've also had those people on. So
I have some for real contacts. I just haven't contacted them yet, so we'll see. Just trying to build an audience first, but whatever.
Yep.
Well, we get three viewers on our live streams.
Yeah, man. It's
You don't want to come on?
yeah.
But,
Come on,
yeah.
man.
So
Did you?
we already have
bought-
someone in the watching the live stream, so that's cool.
What up? Pop in if you want to, man. We could always use people.
So
Me and Corey talk so much; it's hard to find stuff to talk about. So
yeah, we need more show ideas too. So
yeah.
help us out.
Did
So
you
what's
buy
been
anything
going?
cool? Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna ask what you've been doing this week. I've been trying to still recover from last Saturday, but
I haven't touched a drop of alcohol since last Saturday, man. That's too much. Like 2 weeks in a row and 2 nights in a row. I can't do it. I can't do that.
no, it's I'm trying to stay away from it. So I have water once again.
Any more edibles?
No, I don't think they'll agree with me. I'm gonna be honest. I was never like a big user ever, and they just make me crazy dizzy. So yeah, I puked it later that night.
Man, I saw where you were watching Jaws last night on the projector. How'd that work out?
Little mosquito heavy.
Yeah.
We finally got some spray out and the citronella candles, and that seemed to help a little bit. But it was a good trial run. We had a fun time, and I had 2 of my kids over, and so it was a fun night. I had a good time with it.
That's cool.
Looking forward to this fall so I can watch some horror out there.
I think Friday the 13th would be fun on outdoor projector.
I'm hoping I can get a couple decent nights once that box that comes out and throw some of those out there. So we might.
I watched a bunch of stuff today, especially. I haven't done anything. I think I vacuumed and then I watched movies all day. Like today I've watched I got up at 8, watched Next Friday because I bought the Friday sequels, so I go watch them. And then I watched Critters because I got that Critters box set, which is a good deal if you don't have it, by the way, for $45. Watched Friday After Next.
Nice.
What else? Then I watched Host, that Shudder original that everybody's been watching about the Zoom meeting horror movie.
Right.
Interesting concept for a movie. Very, very short. It's 56 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And also, they just put In Search of Darkness on Shudder, so I blew through about 30 minutes of that, but it's 4.5 hours.
Yeah, that's a long one.
Yeah.
Lost Cunningham's joined us here. What's up, dude?
What up, homie? I love the Ernest picture, by the way, man.
I thought that was John Cena.
It is wild how much John Cena is starting to look like Ernest. I'm okay with a trial reboot, by the way. John Cena is Ernest. I would pay money for that.
I think
Ernest does steroids.
That's one buff. Yeah, I haven't watched anything today. I was kind of out and about today. I went and bought a new patio umbrella from off Facebook, and I haven't watched a lot this week either, really. But I picked up some things. I guess I could show those, like three DVDs and a Blu-ray from a family video. So I picked up The house that Jack built.
Have you watched that yet?
Yeah, I did. It's
What'd you
kind of
think?
I actually thought it was a little overhyped. It wasn't as off the wall as I thought it would be.
No, people try to say, "Oh, it's fucking crazy" or whatever. But
Was
what is
like,
that? Lars von Trier? Is that who that is?
I thought it was a pretty fucking tame Lars von Trier movie.
That dude sucks his own dick so much. And
Yeah.
every one of those, like the last like 5 minutes of that movie, or I guess 10 minutes of that movie, is just the most condescending, like trying to be what's the word I'm looking for, Corey? You're a writer. I don't know. Just so fucking full of himself, trying to make that movie something more than what it was.
Like art.
Yeah, like it trying to be very artsy, and it's like the first hour and a half of that shit was had nothing to do with what they brought in the last 5 minutes.
Right.
Anyways, I don't. Bottom line, I don't like his movies. So
I got cats climbing behind me. No, I bought it was like 2 for $3, and that was like a replacement. So, and we got someone joining us.
hey, it's probably Lost Cunningham.
Michelangelo left.
Oh,
no.
Anyway, bye. You're welcome to come back. Yeah. Hang on.
Then I picked up this. This is probably. Hold on, we got. Jaquan. I think we got some trolls popping in. Anyway, I picked up the CM Punk girl on the third floor.
I haven't seen that yet.
It's all shit. Whatever. So, and then I've heard a lot about this. I don't know if you've seen it. Have you seen Trick?
No, I haven't.
Looked interesting. It's kind of a Halloween-based movie. It's got Tom Atkins in it.
Oh, I thought maybe it was a sequel to like Hustle and Flow.
No, it's got Omar Epps, and so decent cast. And then I'm the big Manson murder fan. So this is a Manson music documentary, music from an unsound mind. So
that seems like it'd be super interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch it. So I think we have a real guest. Let's add Lost Cunningham to the.
There we go.
There he is. What's up, man?
What's going on, guys?
How's it going, man?
Doing pretty good.
Glad to see you on here, man. Now you are a fellow Kentuckian, is that correct? Or
yeah.
Cool.
There we go. Here's some echo.
Yeah.
What's going on, guys?
How's it going, man?
Doing pretty good.
Who's that coming from?
Glad
to see you on here, man. Now you are a fellow Kentuckian, is that correct? Or
yeah.
do you have your laptop or something open to the video?
Is that better?
Yeah, there we go. I think we're good now.
Yeah.
All right, man. So what you been up to this week, man?
Yeah.
Do you have your laptop or something open to the video?
Could be a delay here.
I think we might be.
Is that better?
Yeah, there we go. I think we're good now. Can you hear us okay? So what you been up to this week, man? I don't think you can.
I think you may be having technical issues. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, come back in. You get this sorted out. Come on back in.
We'll be back. So anyway, I know you've you're tightening the purse strings a little bit, but did you pick up anything other than
Yeah,
the
no, I mean I got I bought a DVD pack of the Friday sequels because those are like ridiculously expensive on Blu-ray. I think Friday After Next isn't even on Blu-ray, but next Friday is like $30 on Blu-ray.
Right.
And I really wanted to watch it, so I bought those. And that Critter set I've wanted for so long that I had to buy it.
I saw this artwork the other day. I don't know if this is true or not, but it was looked like a movie poster for last Friday. Is that a real thing?
Man, they've been trying to get that movie off the ground forever. And like the last thing I heard was Ice Cube has said he wants to do it, and like he had another script wrote for it and was submitted to New Line when John Witherspoon passed away.
Right.
Who played Craig's dad. And evidently the script was extremely Willie Jones heavy. So they're going to have to scrap that and start from the beginning.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I saw a clip of the Joe Rogan show when he was on there and his son was on with him, and he did an awesome impression of his dad. Maybe he could do kind of his voice, in some way. I don't know. Yeah,
see, like actually there's a big controversy going on with his son right now. Like not really like about his son, but he had I don't know if you're watching the show The Boondocks.
No.
John Witherspoon voices a character on there, and like it was coming back, and his son is a working voice actor, and he can obviously do his dad's voice perfect.
Right.
And they had him come in on audition to replace his father, right? And they ended up picking someone else.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
we got Lost Cunningham again. Let me put him in and see if that's.
Is that better?
Yeah. Can you hear us? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is my first stream, so I don't really know how it works.
Oh no, it's cool, man. It's cool. I just wanted to make sure you could hear us and everything. Okay. So.
Yeah. Actually, your last stream, you had my brother on.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, I think I saw that in the comments. So.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, what have you been up to this week, man?
Working. My daughter's birthday's tomorrow, so
fun.
I should be in bed by now. Usually I'm in bed by 8:30, but I figure I stay on for y'all.
Appreciate that, man. Very much.
We're happy to have you. So, do you have any topics, Jonathan? I just thought I'd get on and shoot the
No, man, I just want this bullshit, man. So are you around Breckenridge County too?
Right now I'm in E-Town.
E-Town? Cool. So you're in a little bit more populated area.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's cool.
Anything fun or interesting out that way?
No.
Nah.
Pretty much, it's pretty much like Owensboro.
I've been to E-Town a few times.
So have you watched anything cool in the past week or so?
I'm like halfway through with Silent Rage with Chuck Norris.
Oh, okay.
Man, I picked that up at Menards like a week ago. I haven't watched it yet though.
I can't believe it's got a Blu-ray release for you can get it for like $7.
Yeah. Yes, I picked it up. I haven't watched it yet though. It looks cool.
It's cheesy as can be, but it's great.
What, Chuck Norris cheesy? Come on. Really?
There's a set of boobs in there, and I'm pretty sure I've never seen a Chuck Norris movie with a set of boobs. Can y'all think of any of them?
No, I don't think there was a whole lot of opportunity in the Michigan action films.
Yeah. He's like laying on top of them and everything. So
damn.
I was like, that was a first for me.
Get it, Chuck?
Yeah.
See, I can't.
It's as close as you can get really to like a Chuck Norris slasher movie.
Yeah.
Kind of. So it's
he's only got like a couple horror. Yeah. Was it the Hellbound?
I don't even think I've seen that one.
And Hero on the Terror.
Oh, Hero on the Terror is what I'm thinking of. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, Silent Rage is. Is there something about robots in that movie? Am I imagining that?
They have like a serum that
Like a
kind
super
of
soldier
genetically.
kind of thing? Yeah. Okay, I remember it now.
It's like one of the only movies where Chuck kind of gets defeated. Spoilers.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it always gets me like how old that dude is. He's got, I think he's in his 80s now. Maybe.
Yeah.
I gotta look that up. He is 80 years old. So
It's still looking good.
he looks great for 80, man.
Yeah.
Still kick my ass.
Yeah.
That's like I was saying. I
Mine
went to
too.
that with William Shatner like last year, and I was like, "How is this dude 88?" He was just running around on stage, and it's like, "Damn."
Yeah. Shatner's a Kentucky boy. Well, he ain't born in Kentucky, but he lives there.
Really? I
Yeah.
didn't know that. That would be so
Yeah.
random to be at like the grocery store and fucking Captain Kirk's over there beside you buying a can of corn.
Yeah.
He'd be riding up on his horse.
Yeah. When I lived in Lexington, he's got a farm out there.
A lot of famous people do that. Like they'll buy a bunch of horses and they'll come here like once every 2 years.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp had a house here. I mean, of course he's from Owensboro, but he had a
Right.
house like on the other side of Louisville, and I don't even know if he ever stepped foot in it.
Johnny Depp, I don't think he even claims to be an American anymore. So
No.
I can, like, a lot of people from Kentucky don't really claim they're from Kentucky anymore. But
No. There used to be, my favorite thing growing up though was like random Johnny Depp sightings, because everybody would swear that they saw Johnny Depp. Like, because like he does have family like in Owensboro. I do know that. Like he has parts of his family are still here.
yeah,
I doubt Johnny's flying over from France to kick it for a bit though.
yeah. There's a whole thing like everybody would say they were kin to Johnny Depp.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure you got it too, but
Oh yeah, or like somebody's aunt used to date Johnny
Yeah.
Depp in high school, and it's like I don't even think he went to high school here. Like,
yeah,
Well, if you ever go to the stores and there's like no wine in the county,
yeah,
that's what happened.
yeah.
Y'all ain't got no boxed wine.
he left that.
Hell, people in Kentucky didn't know that wine came in anything else but a box, man.
So one thing I guess I thought we'd talk a little bit about tonight is, and I don't know if any of those guys are going to hop on, but I don't know if you're like us. Pretty much all horror fans seem to be wrestling fans, at least back in the day. Were you a wrestling fan as well?
Oh yeah,
Okay, we're good then.
Yeah. I thought what we might do is talk a little bit about these cats are going nuts.
I was about to say that freaked the shit out of me because it didn't look like a cat.
It's Michael Jackson from Thriller. I thought maybe we could discuss like what was like the big thing growing up that got you hooked on wrestling as a kid. If whoever wants to kick it off.
Hang on, I'm gonna get a prop. Be right back.
Okay. I guess I'll tell. I know I watched before this, but I know growing up, I remember being watching TV one Saturday morning, and this was Hulk Hogan was on the Piper's Pit, and then behind him comes Andre the Giant with Bobby Heenan. We get the whole build for WrestleMania 3, and that was pretty much the moment when I was locked in as a kid and had to follow it from there. So I guess that was kind of my start in watching wrestling. So
My grandma liked wrestling like a lot, and my grandparents were old, dude. Like she was in her late 70s when I was like 5 or 6. And so wrestling was real to her, okay? Because like she came from that era, like back. I mean, like you got to think, like probably when she first saw wrestling, it was like before Bruno Sammartino, right?
Right.
So I mean, she used to just get into it, man. I remember she had this chair that sat like right by the TV because they had a tiny little bitty TV, and she'd be hollering at the TV and like rocking back and forth, and that chair would be knocking against the counter behind her. But I watched a little bit with her like growing up, but when I really got into wrestling was like right around the beginning of the Monday Night Wars. So it was a little bit after Hall and Nash showed up on WCW, because I grew up watching WCW up until like 99. And yeah, so it was right around the time like the NWO formed. Like I remember like Hulk Hogan being a face for me, like for a very short amount of time. But yeah, so prime Nitro years, man. Like, and I still think that Nitro gets shit on, but it was a better product at that time. Like up until probably about 99, it wasn't garbage until really about mid 2000.
Yeah. Yeah, when we was in school, Nitro there was no WWF. It was all Nitro. Actually, when we had a wrestler come up from my small hometown, not known pretty well. His name was the Flamboyant One, Eric Emery, and he was on. Actually, he's been on Stone Cold's podcast. I think he was not only was he a wrestler, but he promoted a lot of stuff, and so from that, he would bring in a lot of people. We would have like small gym shows, and we would have like Double J, Jeff Jarrett, and just a lot of like old school wrestlers come up. Right. So that's how I pretty much discovered wrestling. USWA was just down the road for me. So
yeah, I grew up just outside of Evansville, so that was one of their stops every Wednesday, and I only went to one USWA show, but right close to the end of it. But yeah, I know my grandpa was big on that, the Memphis wrestling back then. I think it was Continental back then, but
yeah,
he was a big watcher. My mom said, "Don't watch that crap," and then I ended up hooked on it too.
My parents hated it.
Yeah.
I still remember. Do you remember that? I think it's talked about on like wrestling channels all the time. That Secrets of the Ring special that aired or whatever that like exposed the business. Mm-hmm. I fought against that so hard in my little like 7-year-old mind, man. I was like, it is real. It is. And then there was a point in time like I'd convinced myself that okay, so they're doing everything safe, but maybe like the outcomes aren't predetermined.
Man, I had this friend when this was probably in the Attitude Era time period, but I had this friend that I would go to his house, and I mean, we all knew that wrestling was what it was. I was older and he was not much younger than me, but his entire family thought it was real. It would crack me up to listen to them. His mom would get so pissed off at like Triple H. She'd be like, "I hate that son of a bitch."
Yep. There is still people who think it's real. Like otherwise functioning members of society that for some reason refuse to believe that it's not. And I don't know. I guess it's more fun that way. So maybe they're having way more fun with it than we are. So
actually, I think today's just real, like real bad.
I know my first show, I didn't realize how real people thought that the actual show was until I actually went, and you had people just yelling like this was the realest thing they've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like when I finally came to terms with like how choreographed it was my first show, and I saw Chris Benoit and RVD in a cage match for the Intercontinental title at a house show. And Chris Benoit, of course, is just like, he's doing the spot where they're both on top of the cage and he's supposed to be driving RVD's head into the cage. And I mean, when you're there, you don't realize there's, you can see that they're this far, their head's this far away from the side of the cage. And I was like, oh shit. It was the big blue cage too. Like at that point, I guess they still use that like on the house show circuit.
Yeah. You know what was cool for me, and this is obviously years past me thinking it was real, because that was probably when I was a kid. But 2017, I went to St. Louis to see Money in the Bank, and it was kind of interesting to watch them choreograph that match, outside the ring, from what you wouldn't see on TV, just how they prepare for their run in for their spot. So
yeah,
it's a production for sure.
I've only been to one televised event, and you were at the Raw that I went to. Mm-hmm. And what got me was the ring crew, because I sat right beside the ring crew. Like I was the very last seat right there. Right. Like, first of all, it's hilarious how none of them give a shit about what's going on in that ring, and they're all like on their phone, reading a book, whatever. And another thing I never thought about was like what happens during the commercials. I didn't realize we were going to turn all the lights back down.
Right.
And for some reason in my head, like I thought like, okay, like when they're doing the entrances and it cuts to like a commercial and it comes back and the music's still playing and everybody's walking around. For some reason, I thought like the music just went through the commercial break, but no, everything just turns off and the ring crew has to get out there and do their thing. And it's so jarring. Like it's not a smooth transition. That was back when they were doing the cruiserweights on Raw too. And I didn't know that was tape that was on the purple tape that went around the ropes. That seemed super inconvenient to just like change the entire set dressing in the middle of the show.
Yeah, that was dumb.
Yeah. I think eventually they went to where they just weren't messing with the ropes anymore, and they just.
No, I think they quit doing the tape for sure. I made that joke about it being terrible these days, and one thing I was thinking about was, in your opinion, we'll just go through all of us. In your opinion, what was the last really good thing you were invested in that they did storyline wise or whatever?
WrestleMania 30.
Okay.
What about you?
I honestly can't remember it. It's pretty much when John Cena came up and was like the star and took, Stone Cold and Triple H's spot. That's pretty much when I checked out.
That like
pretty much when they took the risk out of. I understand it was entertainment, but there was still risk when we watched it. The people, blood. They were jumping off top ropes, going into chairs and stuff. But once they took that out, I was out.
Right. I think for me, the last thing, and I mean, you could make an argument with the Daniel Bryan WrestleMania 30 storyline, but and this they kind of dropped the ball with, but that build for the Summer of Punk was so hot when he was threatening. They just they
missed the boat. They missed the boat with that too.
That dude should have been taking that title to every indie in the country.
Do you remember when Impact did it with AJ Styles, like the exact same time, and like AJ would show up and like I think he showed up in New Japan once with the Impact title and everything. Right. They actually did it better because they let him take that title everywhere. Yeah. If Punk would have showed up in Ring of Honor with the WWE title, my God, dude.
Yeah.
What would that have done for business?
Would have let him do it. So.
What was it, a week or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
He was coming back.
Now is TNA still a thing, or is it gone? I used to watch it a little bit, but
it's Impact Wrestling now.
Okay,
and it's like I guess it's the third largest promotion right now.
Yes, so
I don't even know what channel it's on now.
Really?
So,
I hear I haven't
it's
watched
on
it,
HDNet.
but I mean, I hear they do some pretty good things there. I mean, they just had Tully Blanchard's daughter. She was the champion, like
She was the
heavy
world champ. Yeah.
for a while, and then they cut her. But I think she had some. I don't. There were some issues with her, like attitude wise, wasn't there? Is that why?
So she lives in Mexico. Strange choice. But she lives in Mexico and she refused to come in for the tapings to drop the belt.
Okay.
Well, it was during the middle of a pandemic, but then she also refused, and they were going to work around that, but she also refused to record promos to send in to kind of at least like do something with it. So they stripped her of the title.
Well, I don't know. She could probably do bigger things than that. I mean, obviously, a match with her and Charlotte's like the money match in the future, but
WWE doesn't need to get her because they're going to bury her.
oh, I know.
She wasn't made there, so they're not going to.
Right.
They're not going to do anything with her. AEW is where she probably needs to land. I think Tully's in AEW, isn't he?
He is. Yeah.
There you go. Well, that makes sense now. It makes sense for her to go there.
Yeah, that would work out well. He could manage her. He's managing what's his name? Sean Spears, right? So,
yeah. Isn't that 10? What was his name? Ty Dillinger.
Ty Dillinger, yeah. Which that dude never looked huge in WWE, but he's like one of the biggest dudes in AEW.
I know. Well, AEW's got a lot of small guys.
They do.
Like Jungle Boy, he may be 14. Like he
Maybe. You know what's sad is I honestly think that dude probably got signed too soon because of who his dad was.
Yeah.
And he would bring some notoriety to that company, and his dad died, so he wasn't going to be on the show at all.
I think he's a talented performer though.
No, he is. He's actually pretty good. But
I like the little gimmick they got with him and I can't think of the dude's name, but he's great. Luchasaurus, the dude's awesome. It's a great gimmick too.
That dude's huge. So,
yes, he is. He's scary.
Yeah. They need to get rid of Marco's stunt though. I cannot stand that dude.
Can somebody tell me what's going on with Chris Jericho's papaw body? He has got major papaw body right now, man.
He's papaw age.
Yeah, how old is he?
I mean, I think he might be 50. But it was like his last match in WWE compared to like his first match in New Japan, which was like a few months span. It's like somebody deflated him, like deflated his chest. Like, how Hulk Hogan, like his pecs kept running away from each other. No, I guess Scott Steiner's a better example of that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's more the steroids.
His Shoney's got shut down last week, man. We need to be easy on old Scott Steiner.
Well, he's running in his 60s, ain't he?
He's got to be, but he's still fucking huge.
Yeah.
I'd never seen, I don't think I've seen a human being since like late 90s Scott Steiner. That large. His bicep had a smaller bicep on it.
Once he became Big Papa Pump, he was crazy.
I love that character though.
Yeah.
I watched some old Nitro the other day, and it was when I don't know if you remember this. It was kind of late in Nitro when Luger debuted that total package heel gimmick.
Yes.
He was with Liz. Man, I forgot how big that dude was.
Luger was gigantic, man.
Yeah.
I think he's a preacher now, ain't he?
I think so. He was in a wheelchair for a while.
Really?
I don't know if he's walking again yet now, but something to do with the steroid abuse over the years, because that man was pouring them in his Cheerios in the morning. I'm telling you, he was.
Yep.
That's a dude that's like probably the probably the biggest star from that era that like nobody talks about anymore, hardly.
Dude, he sucked. Like, I didn't like him when I was a kid, and like that's who you were supposed to like when you're a kid, right? Is the white meat baby face.
I didn't know anybody in the day that was a Luger fan.
Well, Lex and Sting back in the day, that's who you wanted to be.
I was gonna say, like, he had cred with me because he was buddies with Sting.
Yeah.
So, and Sting was my dude.
Like, old school Sting, right?
Crow Sting.
Crow Sting? Okay. I'm more of the old school Sting.
I don't know. How old are you?
I'm 38.
Okay, I'm 30. So I remember when I found out about Surfer Sting, I was like, oh, like there was a whole different thing going on. Like, so I never got to see Sting and RoboCop tag team.
Yeah.
You didn't miss much.
You missed out. Say we disagree, but
yeah.
I tell you one memory I have seen is when they did the fake heel turn of him going to the NWO. That early NWO, that was so well done.
That whole year of WCW TV may be the best year of wrestling content ever. I mean, they blew it with the match. But God, that build up. Sting he wasn't in the ring for a year, and it felt like, it is. Whew.
The back drama just made up for everything in the ring.
Yeah,
they were like sending people out and stretchers and everything. It's great.
He'd just be sitting up there in the rafters for like entire episodes of Nitro. I'm surprised like nobody from like Miramax sued WCW for that, because it was it doesn't get any more blatant of a ripoff.
Yeah.
And that wasn't that long after that movie. What was The Crow?
No, man, it was like 95 for The Crow or something, and he shows up in like late 96.
Yeah,
in the Crow makeup.
Yeah, they were still doing those shitty sequels.
Yeah, Edward Furlong is the Crow.
Oh, I like the second one, but Edward Furlong, no.
It also had Tara Reid. Is that who it is?
Okay.
Tara Reid and her weird water balloon boobies.
Wasn't like that Fez dude from 70s show in one of them or something?
Wilder Valderrama, was he the Crow in one?
I think he was in one.
No, idea for a movie. The Crow, but Wilder Valderrama's in it. But he's Fez, and Fez is the Crow.
Okay. I'd watch that over the Edward Furlong one.
Oh, yeah, for sure. What happened with Edward Furlong? Like, that kid had a promising career. He was a good-looking kid. Like, you know, he came up, and he's this weird... He looks like Ellen DeGeneres if she had brown hair and she was overweight. Like, that kid had promise, man. He's in, like, the biggest action movie of all time, and then, like, 4 years later, nobody will touch him.
Yeah, I don't get it.
He looks like if you ordered Norman Reedus off Wish.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he got arrested in Kentucky for.
He did in Boone County of all places for DUI.
So the moral of the story is stay out of Kentucky.
Yeah,
hey, Jericho got arrested in Kentucky.
Really?
He did for DUI. Him, Shane Helms, and somebody else, all on the same night in right up by Cincinnati. I can't think of what that county is. Florence. Yep.
Well, I was just in that area like in December. That area sucks.
Dude, there's whole patches in Kentucky that really suck.
Yeah.
Kentucky's the weirdest state in the way that you can there's 3 population centers. And if you drive in between any of them, you may get raped. Or you can buy meth anywhere you want to.
Or both.
Yeah, exactly. Get raped, buy a little meth.
But now, are you from Illinois, Corey?
I'm originally from Indiana, so.
Oh, even worse. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We're very judgy over here.
Well, Breckenridge County isn't too far from, like, all my grandparents. They're from either Illinois or Indiana. So
Right. Yeah. So, I was going to come back to what you were saying about Daniel Bryan, though. There was a point I was going to make. I had a theory that would have made that storyline even better. So, you know how he had the match with Triple H to get in the title match?
Yeah, the opener. The opener, yeah.
Would it not have been better? So that was the same pay-per-view that Brock beat Taker, right?
If he would beat Taker?
Yeah. They said you can be in the title match if you can beat the streak.
Oh, yeah. Brock should never beat Taker. Like, period.
Yeah.
Like, he was at a level where he did not need it. Like, it didn't really do anything for his character.
Daniel Bryan at that time would have been the perfect guy to beat him.
Oh, yeah. Actually, Punk the year before. That was the guy to beat him.
Right.
But, no, I mean, Bryan would have been better than Brock, for sure. But Punk the year before, that's the one that should have broke it. And he should have stayed gone after, like, even after Brock beat him. Because when Reigns came back and beat him, like, was it the next year that Reigns? No, the next year Reigns beat Triple H. The next year he beat Bray Wyatt. So that meant nothing. And then Reigns beats him like the year after that. It means nothing anymore. Like, bringing Taker in once a year for Mania for the past 6-7 years has made zero sense.
Yeah, had Roman been the first guy to beat him, that would have made a lot more sense.
That made more sense. Like, I'm not mad that Reigns beat him at all, but like, if he should have been, like, it should have been, if he was going to beat him, he should have been the first one to do it.
Right.
And if not, when, you know, after he beats Taker takes off all the gear, folds up the jacket, lays the hat in the middle of the ring, and leaves. That to me was, I'm done. This is it. Goodbye.
Yeah.
That should have been what that was.
Yeah, I agree. We talked a bit about this. You weren't a fan of the Boneyard match, were you?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't like cinematic matches, no.
Okay. Cool. Just checking. I couldn't remember if you did or not. I enjoyed it, but
I like it better than those weird empty crowd matches right now, though.
Yeah.
That's fucking rough.
Can't watch it.
I feel bad for everybody like trying to perform in that, man, because like, until you've been to a live show, you don't realize how much of a part of the show that audience is.
Yeah.
I mean, you have no feedback. Like, did you see where Matt Hardy is either he wants to or is going to abandon the broken gimmick?
Yeah.
Because of the amount of crowd participation that went into that character, and there's no crowd now. So the character just doesn't work.
Yeah, I don't watch golf, but I watched it today because I had some in-laws watching it, and just, you know, they hit a good shot and you expect to clap from the audience, and it's not there. It's just weird.
And I find it even stranger that they just have like performance center employees there, like trying to make up some sort of crowd, because you know it's just fake.
Actually, I watched the cornhole, the ACL, whatever it is, and they actually had more crowd than anything I've seen since. You know, like any of the games coming out now. So
I know, Corey, do you watch basketball or anything?
You're talking to me or no?
No, I was talking to Cunningham.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Have you been watching the games there where there's no crowds and stuff like that?
I just can't do it.
It's not that bad to watch, honestly.
That's the best thing to watch with no crowd, honestly.
I guess it feels like a pickup game.
They're piping in crowd noise, and they've done a good job of kind of, you know, boxing that in where you can't see it. It still doesn't feel like, you know, regular NBA basketball, but I was worried about, honestly, like the whole time I was like, the squeaking of the floor, like of the shoes on the floor is going to be unbearable, but it's not
It's
that
not
bad.
gonna be worse than it usually was. I don't think.
No, but I thought, man, that's just going to be terrible.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see how the NCAA basketball does, but
I don't think we're going to see it. I don't
no,
think we're going to see anything next year. I don't think we're going to see football in any form
no.
at all.
Wait,
Well,
isn't
was
the
gonna say-
NFL opting out?
They're still trying to go. I was going to say college football today. The MAC conference postponed their season. All the teams are not playing any fall sports. So, is that going to be a domino that falls for the rest of the conferences, which I think it will be. I don't see how
College,
you do it.
yeah, college is for sure done. But
I mean, with all these cases now, I mean, if you have one team have one case, 2, 3, 4 weeks out, that's a whole season for some people.
yeah, I mean, look at the Marlins. I mean,
Yeah,
it's just I don't know of another sport that could do what the NBA's done, and the NBA has a problem coming up because they're wanting to start a new season in December. Are you going to start it in Orlando? No.
nope.
That's not going to happen either. There won't be a 21, I guess a 2021 season. I don't think.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Well,
sports is a wash.
You look at like where we were at in March. I mean, honestly, did you think? I think most people thought by August we'll be back to normal pretty much by August for sure. But it's not any better than it was then, honestly.
No, it's not, and a lot of it is just people refusing to get along with each other.
Yeah,
honestly, like I mean, in higher up political and fields, and even down to just people you go to the grocery store with, nobody can seem to agree on anything. And as long as we're fighting each other, we're not going to be able to get through it. I think we're going to run it out. I honestly think we're going to run this head on until we get to a vaccine, and then we'll fight about that vaccine, and then maybe a year later, everything will go back to normal.
Who's going to take the vaccine?
Exactly, that's what it's going to be.
Yeah,
it's going to be.
The vaccine will get political.
Exactly, and then like you'll have the same reasons for it's just like the mask. Like substitute everything here about the mask, but for the vaccine. And then there's going to be this small group of people who's going to be like, "There's a microchip in the vaccine," and then like, it's coming. I guarantee it. A year from now, mark my words, it's going to be this mass thing of people just refusing to take the vaccine because there's a microchip in it.
But we won't have an election cycle next year, so I think everything's hyper right now because
you're right. That may calm it down. Honestly,
it's happened in a bad year because
if
it had happened 2018, it would have been a whole different thing. I think maybe.
Yeah. It's just I don't want to get political, but it's like you can't go anywhere. You can't go anywhere in the world right now without being political. Like sports are political. Like everything's political. You can't just be a human existing on Earth and just trying to fucking make it anymore. You got to have an opinion.
Yeah. I pretty much nuked my whole social media. YouTube's pretty much all I have.
It's a good thing. Social media is depressing. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's reached such a fever pitch to where like, I don't know if you guys have seen that explosion in Beirut or whatever.
Yeah.
That's turned into like a conspiracy theory nightmare now too. Like, my God. They're shipping kids out of Wayfair.
You know what the funniest thing about this year is? The government pretty much admitted there are UFOs out there, and we're like, yeah, but what about this thing?
The best meme I saw this year.
Still,
the best meme of 2020 is still like, okay, I kind of get why they won't tell us about the aliens now. Like, yeah, if they came out tomorrow and they're like, hey, aliens are real and they're here,
I'd be like,
But the first question would be like, do they support Trump or Biden? I don't know. They're fucking aliens. I don't know. And then there would be some.
You're not going to give them any mail-in ballots, are you?
Yeah. And then it's going to be like, do they have visas?
Build a wall.
we have enough cages to put them in some warehouse.
So that would be what we turn this into. This is why they're not making contact.
Speaking of the bubble, they're building the wall in Mexico. We'd have to build a bubble to keep them out. We can't have those aliens.
Yeah, we'd be hollering, "Build the dome."
Yeah,
build the dome. Build the dome. Build the dome.
Well, I wouldn't be hollering that. But.
All right, so here we go. Do you guys believe in aliens, like real intelligent aliens, like intelligent life forms that come to Earth?
Boy, this took a turn.
It did. We ain't got nothing else going on. I mean,
you know what? Before I answer that, I used to do this poll question in the newspaper I worked for, and it was usually something about the community or whatever. But one week I put if aliens or ghosts exist, which one do you think is more likely to exist? People went crazy over that. They were like, almost made it political.
Yeah.
And people were like, actually, they're not ghosts, they're spirits. I'm like, well, sorry. But anyway, aliens.
Which one won, by the way?
Yeah.
I think aliens won.
That's a good divide because you got the religious and the scientific community batting at each other.
Why can't both of those go together?
Yeah.
I'll never understand that. Be like, all right, so I don't want to go there. Sorry. Never mind. Anyways, you guys believe in aliens?
So
I haven't seen anything.
My theory is I don't think we've had like a visitation, but I think there's so many like Earth-like planets like so far away from us. There's got to be some kind of life out there.
Yeah. I can't say that's where I kind of am. Like, there's definitely life out there. Like, there's no way around it. Like, it's out there. I don't know if it looks like this, right? But it's out there. But I don't know if anything is. I mean, just when you fathom how far away like the next inhabitable planet is, like how long it would take to travel there, I don't even know if it's like possible physically.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
I'm saying it's possible though. I guess.
I mean, I'll watch all that stuff or read up on it, but. Do I believe in it? No. But every now and again, you get that, the TikTok, what's it called? Tic-Tac, UFO.
Yeah.
And every now and then you get one that's like, maybe there is something out there.
Have y'all seen anything? Either of y'all? No. I've definitely seen a UFO. I'm not saying it's an alien craft.
Right.
But I mean, I have seen the triangle craft that with no noise. So I mean, I've seen that before, but that doesn't mean it's aliens.
Right.
I've had like a couple personal ghost-like experiences, not an alien.
Now, thank God, I've never had that. Talking to a Catholic boy here, sir. We take our we take that stuff seriously. All right, let's hear what did you guys say?
So I know where you went to school then.
Yeah, I did. I went to Owensboro Catholic schools, but yeah. Well, I mean, see, here's the thing. Like they teach, like it's not super well like taught on. But we talked about exorcisms and possessions and demons.
Really?
Yes. Like it's a very huge part of the Catholic Church's history. Like exorcisms are only performed by Catholic priests. There's an entire, team at the Vatican that's devoted to things like that. I think I remember hitting on it once in middle school, but like it's a part of it.
Did you read The Exorcist?
No.
I know you watched it, but
yeah, those possession movies still bother me more than anything.
Really?
Because it is something like
it's rooted in faith, right?
Exactly, right? So
yeah.
Everything I believe coming up and part of now like tells me that it's the most plausible thing to me that could actually happen. So it is scary to me, even though I can't like explain it, nothing like that. You know what I mean? I am a religious person, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So it is the most scary to me. And I think that's why The Exorcist caused so much of an uproar and shocked so many people when it came out. But
I'm reading this book right now. It's called Shock Value, which goes in detail about, pretty much the 70s, 68 to 70, about the horror icons that pretty much now we talk about.
Mhm.
And it all started pretty much with Rosemary's Baby. Because The Exorcist,
Yeah.
William Peter Blatty wrote Exorcist in response to Rosemary's Baby, because it was a kind of negative toward religion, and Blatty wanted to write something more positive, which the book is more positive, I guess, in a sense.
Mhm.
But the movie flips the ending, where it's
Really?
Yeah.
What happens at the ending of the book?
The book, the entity, the evil spirit jumps into the priest, and he jumps out the window,
Mhm.
and it kind of defeats the evil being, I guess. And of course, the movie, it leaves it open.
Leaves it open. I think, and that just goes with, like, that's more appealing in a visual medium, right?
Right.
Like a
Yeah.
movie, to leave it open ended.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that The Exorcist 2 is just hot garbage. Like,
But he makes up for it from 3, right?
oh yeah, 3's great, man. 3 is
Yeah.
an underrated classic. It's just now starting to get its footing.
Yeah.
So
Speaking of, I guess, possession movies, one of my favorite recent ones is that Taking of Deborah Logan. Did you see that?
it's
That's a good movie.
that's the one. Yeah, it is. It's the one with the it's that it's almost iconic now, where that bitch's head is like she's eating that bitch.
Yeah,
Like,
which
you know
is
what I'm saying?
kind of a stupid ending, but I like the plot of that movie. They think she's dealing with just
Dementia.
Alzheimer's.
It's a really good way to flip it. I'll tell you another good possession movie that I think gets shit on because people are attached to it, and that's The Last Exorcism.
I never saw that one, actually.
Dude,
it's found footage one.
It's the found footage one.
I just watched that not too long ago. I rewatched it.
What'd you think? I thought it was solid.
Yeah, like from what I remember, I didn't really like it, but then because I saw it in the theater, but then upon second viewing, it was pretty good.
Same way for me, man. Second viewing was a lot better. And Corey, just to give you an idea, it's kind of in the same vein with Deborah Logan. This deals with an exorcist who is a sham, and he's coming out in a documentary to show, like, hey, this is what I do, like, to pretend like we're doing this. And he goes into a situation with a young girl who's possessed, and he thinks he's actually dealing with a case of child abuse, more so than possession. So watch it. It is really good, man. Now the sequel is also hot garbage, but that first movie is an underrated gem.
As far as like found footage goes, the acting in it's really good.
It is, man. And anytime they structure it around a documentary, you can get away with a little bit more.
Yeah.
I feel like, rather than just like a Blair Witch kind of thing where you're kind of just jumping into the footage or Paranormal Activity, if you structure it around a mockumentary, you can get a lot more out of it.
Yeah, that's one like trend with found footage recently that they're doing a lot more of. It's kind of like that, and I think it's pretty a good way to do it. So
I am the world's biggest sucker for found footage, and I know people hate it, but I love it because it just takes that extra layer of disbelief, suspended disbelief that I have to come up with, and kind of pulls it away from me. I can get a little bit more into it. I can sit down and kind of pretend like this is real. I can pull a wrestling with it. Okay. Like it's being presented to me as real. So I can roll with that. And some great movies for both you guys that are found footage are on Shudder. Hell House LLC series, especially that first one, are really good.
Heard of those? I haven't seen them.
Yeah, I haven't seen them either.
They're worth your time, man. They're worth it.
Good. I saw a movie a few years ago. It's along that same type of structure, and it's called The Conspiracy. Did you see that? It's about these two guys are kind of interviewing this guy who's kind of a conspiracy theorist, and he's got all these theories about this. It's kind of like a Bilderberg type group that they're doing all these things politically, and so these guys that are doing the documentary are trying to infiltrate one of their meetings, and it's really pretty good.
That sounds like right up my alley, man.
Yeah, I think you'd like it a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Had a crazy ending, in my opinion. But
I'm such a sucker for those movies.
Yeah,
even when they're bad.
Yeah, the house at Octoberville is probably my favorite found footage.
God, that was a great movie, man. It just kind of came out of nowhere too.
Yeah, I haven't seen the second one.
I'm about to say the sequel's unwatchable, man. Like,
is it?
They shouldn't have made a sequel.
Yeah, I like the ending on that one.
Do you own the movie by chance?
I don't.
It's a good Blu-ray to pick up because the original version of that movie, like, that's a completely remade movie from another lower budget production that they did. The original movie's also on there. So it's cool to watch. But no, House of October Built. I never hear anybody talk about that either, and it's so good.
Oh, it's good.
I gotta check that out too. I may put that in the October rotation. So
it's a perfect movie to watch in October, man.
Yeah. That one, Haunted Wing. Have any of y'all seen Haunted Wing?
I haven't seen Haunted Wing. What's it about?
It's an 80s film. It was 89, and it was filmed in Kentucky and Bowling Green.
Oh, nice.
It's hard to find now. I think it had a release. The director released it, but just recently, I think he just nuked his channel as far as like buying the Blu-ray. I think he had a Blu-ray on it. If not, that's something Vinegar Syndrome should definitely put on.
Is it softcore porn? Because if it's softcore porn, they'll definitely put it out.
Is Ron Jeremy in it?
No.
How many dicks does it have in it? We got a minimum dick quota we're trying to meet here.
Oh God. Sounds interesting. I don't know if it's a hack-a-lantern, but sounds interesting.
God.
What is that? It's pretty close on, like, it's kind of like the what's that newer movie that came out? Hellfest. And there's the Hellfest. Yeah, it's kind of like the same concept.
It's Lauren's favorite movie.
Yeah, I know. I bought it and still haven't watched it yet.
It's like okay, like it's.
Ain't there another movie called Haunt?
Haunt is like it's very good.
Everybody I talked to said Haunt's better than Hellfest.
Hellfest is like aggressively good. Like it's it's just really, really good. But like Haunt was like surprisingly good.
I had a chance to see Hellfest at in Austin at the Alamo Draft House.
Oh, nice.
And I couldn't do it. I could have saw Phantasm too with Don, whatever his name. Yeah, he was there, and of course my wife don't like horror movies, so I couldn't watch it. Yeah.
Dude, my wife like bailed on me when we first started dating. She was all about it. Like she'd watch them all with me, and now she's like, "Oh, I can't stand that shit."
Yeah, she got the ring on the finger.
I know, man. She fucking tricked me.
That's how they do it.
I was actually talking to my girlfriend was talking about someone she knows, I think, and she said that it's some guy she worked with or something, and he was a horror fan, and he was trying to like.
Sorry, I just got a text that said, "Bitch, I can hear you." My wife.
My wife's in bed, so it's good.
But she was talking about some guy she knew that was a horror fan, and he was trying to like ease his new girlfriend or wife into horror, And they watched, like, they weren't even horror movies, but she thought School of Rock, that Jack Black movie, was too suspenseful. And then, like, she didn't like Star Wars because there was too much war.
She's gonna have a hard time with Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think he's watching shit alone.
About the only good thing I got from my wife is she loves Halloween 6. She loves it. We watch that every Halloween. Other than that, I got nothing.
That's admirable, though. That's a good one.
I think it's Red Paul. I think that's what it is.
I think what broke my wife was I've never watched anything like stupidly crazy with her. Like I don't think I've ever watched like Texas Chainsaw with her or anything like that. The Green Inferno fucking broke her. Yeah.
Human Centipede, that broke my wife.
I can't watch the Human Centipede just out of like out of self-respect for myself. But like, and there's stuff I refuse to watch, like a Serbian film. I'm not gonna watch that. Fucking trash, man.
Yeah,
I don't like the torture porn stuff.
No, and like I tell you what's extremely shocking to watch. I watched them when I was like a teenager and shit. Never really liked them then, but they are shocking, and that's the August Underground series.
Haven't seen it.
They are fucking wild. Like, I mean, disturbing. Corey, did we ever do movies that went too far?
No, we need to do that at some point. But
you want to do that tomorrow? Like,
I need to research that first. We better stick with our other plan. But no, there's just I don't know. I try to watch movies for the most part to have an enjoyable experience, not be depressed as fuck or
Right, there's a lot of them that depress
me. The bad about people. So
I try to watch the Poughkeepsie tapes. Like becoming a father, especially, has fucked up my worldview as far as what it was when I was younger. Right. So if I'd have watched the Poughkeepsie tapes when it released, right, probably would have been fine. But like, the first thing in the movie is alluded to, killing a young girl, and I'm like, I can't do it, man. Now I'm kind of sick in my stomach. I don't really want to. Yeah. I'm not gonna be able to go to bed right after this. Like, it's weird how that shit works.
Did y'all ever watch the Traces of Death or Faces of Death?
Yeah, I used to watch when I was a kid. Yeah,
it was always like a dare thing, right? Like it was
right.
Like, watch these, and like you find out later that Faces of Death for the most part was staged.
Yeah.
No, that shit's depressing, man. And like even when I find like, there's weird stuff you stumble on into like forums and stuff like that, where like somebody will post like a GIF or something of somebody like actually dying, and that's like the most depressing shit on earth. So no, I don't really get down
for that shit. So
what's that?
There's a whole Reddit thread for that shit.
It's so weird, man. Like, do you remember like the gross out sites when we were coming up? Like early internet. Yeah, like all that shit, and it's like I didn't get it then. Like, I don't know and I don't know. It's probably something to talk to a therapist about. Why people like watching people acting like I know it's not real. People getting killed is just super fun for me, right? But but like the real is terrible.
Guys at work will show me videos of actually people dying, and I can't watch that stuff. Like it'll play in my head all day long.
Exactly, right? I think horror fans are unfairly placed in a box where people think that they
right, yeah.
And we may be the biggest group of people who are like, man, that's fucked up. Like,
yeah,
like what we're watching is a story. It's fun. It's all make believe, and we're all okay with that.
Yeah,
we may be the biggest proponents against that. I'd say that.
It's escapism, right?
And like I said, I'd love to talk to Corey. Write that down. We need to get some sort of psychologist on here because I need to dive into what makes. You got to think that's a weird thing for somebody to just kind of get hooked on is horror.
Yeah, let me call it mine.
I try to talk to mine about it, but they don't want to talk about it. So,
or do they charge you?
No, they're just like, yeah, I don't know. That's weird. Like, I'll bring it up. Like, what is that? They're like, I don't know.
I think like shit like the Serbian film and stuff like that. Maybe they're made for people that don't get enough thrill from typical horror. I don't know. It's just not for me.
It's like I said, I don't get that movie at all. I don't understand the merits behind that movie. I don't understand why it was made. Like and I'm not a person that's easy to offend. Like that movie offends me. Like
What's the biggest shock to me is there are some people that like that's one of their favorite movies, and I'm like, what kind of person are you?
I think it's horseshit. I think it's some kind of bullshit internet clout they're looking for. Like, oh, I'm way more extreme than you are, bro.
Yeah.
Like, no, because there's no narrative to that film at all. Like,
I prefer more the like subtleness. Like when you use your own imagination, it's far worse than just seeing all the torture.
I think you made a good point when you were talking about people think you're a horror fan, that you want to see videos of people dying or something like that. For the most part, people that don't know horror would think how awful Texas Chainsaw Massacre has to be to watch, but there's hardly nothing shown in it. So,
yeah,
I think it's a really big misconception with horror fans is that we're somehow that we like seeing all that stuff. No, we don't. It's just I can't explain it, but there is no correlation between the two.
I think it's like too the people that make horror movies now that have so many jump scares. Like, I'm a horror fan and I could give a shit about a jump scare. I think it's a cheap way to.
I hate them.
Build some suspense. If you can't do that, you're a shitty writer.
Well, while I got y'all two on here, even though it's your string, I don't watch current horror movies anymore, like modern horror.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of recommendations from y'all to watch. Last one I seen was probably It Follows and Witch. Is two I liked.
So you like you like kind of a slow burn horror movie then?
Yeah, I like slow burns, but
Have you watched Hereditary?
See, I haven't seen it. No.
If you like The Witch, that's gonna be right up your alley.
Yeah.
And probably Midsummer. You'd probably really like that. Those are two.
It's like 3 hours long though, right?
The director's cut is.
Is it?
I actually haven't seen it. I'm not actually a huge fan of that movie or Hereditary. But I didn't like The Witch either. But like that, I could see why those two. If you enjoyed The Witch, you would enjoy Hereditary.
Yeah.
You said you liked The Witch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so a movie by the same director is The Lighthouse.
Yeah,
which I really enjoyed that. I got to see that in the theater, and I mean it's different. I mean it's nothing like you're going to see typically.
Yeah,
and it can be a challenge to get through, but I think the acting is so well done in it that it's worth watching.
What's his face is going to be Batman, right?
Robert Pattinson. Yeah.
Yeah. That's weird.
I'm cool with it. Like, I think he redeemed himself. I think he redeemed himself with. I don't know if you've seen Good Times or Good Time. It's Good Time.
Oh yeah, that's really good.
It's fantastic, man, and he did a hell of a job in it. The boy can act. So,
yeah. What was the one where he played it's like post-apocalyptic and he played like a simpleton?
I don't know.
I forgot the movie, but yeah, he plays like kind of somebody with like Down syndrome or something like that. I don't know.
Good Time is on Netflix, man. I recommend go watch that, and it'll change your opinion on him, I think.
You know who he reminds me of?
Who?
Like based on career. You remember how like early in his career, like DiCaprio was like the pretty boy, and like he proved he has all these acting chops, and he built his career on that. That's kind of where Pattinson is. He got stuck in that Twilight mold, and now he's proven that he can act. So hopefully he's on that same trajectory to have an awesome career. So
I don't mind him as an actor. He can sing pretty good too.
Didn't know.
I think I've heard him.
A lot of those guys like him, like I feel like Channing Tatum and Zac Efron were also in that same boat. Like they were both in like, either like Disney Channel stuff or like, like chick heavy stuff. And they come out and do like Channing Tatum's like amazing in comedy movies.
Yeah.
Like, and so is Zac Efron. So like they just have to come out and redefine their entire career. But then like you have like I think it's Taylor Lautner, the other guy from Twilight. That dude still sucks. Like,
yeah.
I remember my first Twilight setting in a theater. My wife took me. Oh, it's terrible.
hang on 1 second. Be right back.
I was trying to think of some more horror. I had to pull up some from like the last year. Did you see Crawl?
No.
That's pretty good. It's like an alligator movie.
Yeah, I've seen the trailer for it.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Did you see Dr. Sleep?
No, but I'm a pretty big Shining fan. So
I think that's about the best Shining sequel they could have done, especially
I know.
So
Yeah, I know a little bit about the adaptation. I know the director kind of wanted to link the movie Shining and Doctor Sleep together, even though
Right.
Stephen King didn't want to.
yeah.
Did he do a pretty good job of it?
Yeah, I mean he as far as I know, Stephen King's was pretty happy with the movie, and I mean it has a
Yeah.
lot of Kubrick elements in it, especially in the end.
I know
It's not a big spoiler that they do go back to the hotel at the end. But
I know the original Danny Torrance, the
right.
kid in Shining, is a professor at my college here.
Oh, is he? That's cool.
Yeah,
I
and
didn't
I
know.
think he's in Doctor Sleep.
Oh, okay.
He does a little guest feature.
Cool. Yeah, those are a couple that I think if you like The Shining, you'll like Doctor Sleep for sure. They did it really well, and again, Crawl's a short, probably 90-minute, just kind
I
of a
love those.
fun thing. So, yeah, those are good ones. So, I don't know if he was going to mention any others either. I love those questions. I always draw a blank. I'm like, oh, what have I seen?
All right. When you're put on the spot, I'll put you on the spot again. Since you got a background in the news.
Yeah.
So any literary horror that you like?
Oh my gosh, I'm probably the wrong person to ask because I hardly read shit.
Really?
I'm too busy writing crap. I don't know. Do you have any favorite literary horror, Jonathan? You read it?
I can barely read, man.
Oh,
I've read very, very few things.
it's gonna make a Kentucky joke there, but I won't.
Go ahead.
No,
it's true.
Yeah, it really is. It's just, I don't know, man. It takes so long. Like, I don't have a whole lot of time. Like, so it takes so long to read a book. Like, I can, you know what I mean? I mean, I don't know.
What I've been wanting to get into though is like just audiobooks.
Yeah.
That way,
yeah, I could totally get into that. But
actually, there's a channel called 80s Slasher Librarian. He's taken slasher novelizations of the 80s, and he's actually doing the audio books of them.
Oh, awesome.
And I've been reading. I did the Halloween 2, 3, and 4 from him, and they were really good. I enjoyed them all.
Cool.
I wish I liked reading more because I could see where it's fulfilling.
But the irony is I started reading because I was pretty much I didn't really enjoy what the remakes of 2010s were offering, so I just started slowly going into novels because that was the original stuff.
What did we come out with recommendations for stuff that's more new, Corey? Did you give any?
I gave him Crawl.
Crawl is good.
I have to check it out. I like it. Alligator films.
Yeah. That and Doctor Sleep.
That was a weird movie.
Really? Were you a fan of The Shining?
I am. I like Doctor Sleep. It was just wild, man.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, it's like saying, like, how would you describe The Shining? It's fucking weird. Like,
well, you got a point there.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I was going to ask you, did you have any other ones?
That's what I'm trying to think here, man. Like, honestly, there is gems out there. Like,
Yeah.
You're right. I mean, it's just like, I think everybody kind of agree, man, that like, it's just the horror is dead right now. Like, and it's been barren probably since like 2003. Like, horror died somewhere around there as far as new ideas go. But like every so often there's stuff worth watching, like still.
Yeah.
That's what I don't like. That's what I don't get. Why more people need to steal instead of doing the remakes and the reboots and whatever. Just steal from whatever is good. Because if you look at the 70s and 80s, they all stole.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at Sean Cunningham stole from John Carpenter, and from Friday the 13th we got Burning and Sleepaway Camp, that whole genre of camper slashers.
The biggest problem is, I was going to bring this up earlier. This will kind of probably transition into another discussion. They're not making movies for us.
No,
and even though we're the most passionate about these movies, they're not making them for us. They're making them for the general population. They're making them for kids who are actually too young to, legally get into the theater to see them. And it's like when you meet somebody who says, "Oh, I love horror movies," right? Probably, if somebody finds out you have a channel or something and they're like, "Oh, I love horror movies too," right? And you'll feel like, "Oh, what's your favorite horror movies?" You'll be like, "Oh, well, I love The Grudge," or just something like that. Yeah. I like Hostel. I love the Saw movies. That's the people these movies are aimed at. That all movies that are especially being released theatrically are aimed at. They're not aimed at us. So
yeah, I was gonna say, God forbid you want to see a good horror movie in the theater, because it's pretty hard to do.
No, you're gonna get Saw the 14th different time in a different way. And you guys are a little older than me. Can you were people burnt out on Friday the 13th in the 80s, like around the time that like part 7 and 8 came out? Was it a joke at that point, kind of how Saw was?
I don't remember it to be. I remember being excited to see them. I mean, I watched them all on VHS pretty much, but I was excited when the new VHS came out each time. Me and my friends would go get it and check it out.
But we also had other stuff other than Friday the 13th and Nightmare to fill the void if we did get bored.
But I just remember with Saw, it was like a punchline. Around the 4th or 5th one, it was like, "Well, it's Halloween, it must be Saw." Like, I think that was even like a tagline, right? Probably. So every year you were getting another, and it was just like, come on, are we still doing this shit?
I think pretty much when other people are spoofing your ideas, like even the Saw, that the scary movies were spoofing the Saws by that point.
Yeah.
That's when you're at a downward spiral.
That has to be the worst horror franchise as far as like the big ones go. It is by far the worst. By the 4th movie, I legitimately, like, I remember I went and saw the 4th movie in theaters, and when the big twist came up, I was like, "Who the fuck is that guy? And why should I be surprised? Because I don't know who that is."
Let me ask your opinion on this, because it may be a controversial opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I have the thought that when Scream came out, it kind of saved horror at that time, but also killed it as we knew it.
Yeah.
Because they tried to get too smart with things, and it kind of changed the way horror came out.
Scream got real meta because it started referencing other horror movies. And by that time, once you do that, you pretty much kill the whole genre. And that's pretty much what that's what it did. Because after that, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think Scream is a little overrated. in the way that I don't see how it's a series of films. It would have been fine as one standalone film. I don't care enough about these characters. Like they're getting ready to do Scream 5. I do like. What are the fucking odds that Cindy is like
Still
this
up.
shit keeps happening to her? Like it's just it's too much. Like if it had been one and done, much different opinion probably.
Mm-hmm. Now, let's be honest. We only watched Scream, the first one, for the references. Because that's pretty much what all it is just referencing the 80s.
For me, Scream was the horror franchise. Because, like, that was... What year did Scream come out?
96, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so, like, my adolescence, like, was just the Scream movies coming out, right? So that was it for me, man. That was the latest and the greatest. Yeah. That was the wildest shit out there. But, you know...
I feel like, the first one's decent. But the other ones are almost, like, more... Instead of horror, they're almost more shitty teen drama than horror.
Well, that's what all the imitators turned into.
Yeah.
There's Dawson's Creek with gore.
Yeah, I mean they turned into, which isn't a bad movie, but it went from like shitty teen horror to like then you had like Cruel Intentions and it was all like that shit.
This weird Fatal Attraction remakes with teenagers and
yeah. Which I don't mind Cruel Intentions. It's okay, but it's probably the best of those shitty movies.
I mean, some good movies came off of that Scream wave, like Urban Legend and Valentine's probably my favorite.
It was like Idle Hands. Nobody talked about it until Scream Factory released it. I think they released it, right?
They did, yeah.
I love that movie.
I love Idle Hands, man.
Yeah.
It was good.
It like went under the radar in between all that Scream stuff.
Yeah, it was one, like I said, like you said, nobody ever talked about it, but it used to play on HBO kind of constantly back in the day. I remember watching it when I was young. The beginning of that movie, like when he first kills his parents, like it really freaked me out. But again, back to possession, right? Like I was afraid like my hand was going to fuck me up.
That's funny. What did you think about the first? I thought the first, I Know What You Did Last Summer was okay.
I thought it was suitable. Like it was fine. The second one's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Jack Black is the white Jamaican weed dealer.
Yeah, that was bad. I don't think I watched the third one.
Hollywood really hasn't jumped on to a concept since then, really.
Yeah.
I mean, like they were pumping those out like studio films for, probably like 6-7 years or so. Probably up until like 2000, 2001.
Well, the Urban Legend and all that stuff.
Which Urban Legend's great.
Yeah.
We're in kind of an interesting period though, where like, the Robert Eggers, the Ari Asters, like Hereditary and The Witch, those art house horror movies are getting they're kind of building up steam a little bit, it seems like. So
it's very unfortunate for me.
As much as I like our art house horror, I can't sit through a 3-hour movie.
No.
And I'm not gonna bash it because it has like its merits and I understand why people like it. It's not what I'm looking for, but that doesn't make it bad, I guess. I really shit on the house that Jack built earlier, but I mean, but fuck that guy, man.
Yeah. You didn't like his porn nymphomaniac?
That was like the most disjointed film I'd ever seen. I didn't understand what the hell was going on. There's just a lot of penis coming at you.
Oh gosh. Did he did Antichrist, right?
Yep. Like that, and that's another weird fucking everything he does is like, isn't this beautiful art because blah 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 blah. It's like, no, it's just fucking boring.
Wasn't Willem Dafoe in that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think he was a nymphomaniac too.
Yeah. Is there a part 2 and 3? 1 and 2 and 3?
There's a 1 and 2 from Nymphomaniac. There's volume 1 and volume 2 because part 1 and part 2, that's
Yeah.
That's not artsy. They're volume.
No.
Yeah.
I think I've seen the first one, and I think that's all I needed to see.
Probably.
I have friends who are really into that shit, and I don't get it.
Is Shallow Buff in one of them?
He is. He's in the. He's in one of them.
One of them. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's the one I saw.
Yeah. It's weird. It's fucking weird. I mean, it's not Greasy Strangler weird, but it's weird.
Oh man, Greasy Strangler.
I've never been more pissed off after watching a movie than I was after watching The Greasy Strangler.
Cracked me up when you watched that and you were talking about how horrible it was, and then like it was like 2 days later, one of my friends on Facebook mentioned the movie.
Right, yeah.
Oh, I
yeah,
love
like
it.
how much he loved it. Like, my God, that movie was fucking stupid. And the fact that somebody was given money, like copious amounts of money, like that sounds like a great fucking idea. Let's put a geriatric man in fucking Greece, and you both want to fuck a fat chick, and you were just gonna fall like on just like this stupid fucking Adult Swim Tim and Eric bullshit humor. Sorry. And like it's so not funny that it's funny. That doesn't make sense.
Oh gosh.
I like that rant.
Yeah, I really want to know how you really feel about it.
Yeah, I held back a little bit on that one.
Yeah. It's good to know. Is that the worst horror movie you've ever seen? What's the
worst one I've ever seen? Hang on, I got it.
Uh-oh.
Because nobody's gonna know what this is. So I got this from FYE for a penny.
I know that FYE.
This should have been your first.
Hunting Humans. And I'm
Never
gonna be
heard of it.
I don't remember anything about it other than it was the worst thing I'd ever seen. But when you bought Hostel at FYE when it came out, you could get this for a penny. That was the promotion. You bought Hostel, you get Hunting Humans for a penny.
I think you got ripped off.
Yeah, I wanted my money back.
You should post that on your channel.
Yeah.
Like the whole movie.
You know what? I don't think I can.
You know what? You need to have Piz review that.
Oh shit! Oh, that's coming. That means I'm gonna have to watch it again though too, because I have to do the intro.
Yep.
So I just sent him mine for this month, like 2 days ago. So that should be coming.
Nice.
We got a sneak peek.
Worst ones I saw was and it's probably not the worst one I've ever seen, but this just popped in my head. Fucking Chud 2.
Bud the Chud?
Yes.
Bud the Chud.
It is pretty fucking bad. I mean, but you know, Chud was a fucking cinema masterpiece, man. You know?
I know.
I saw it. Go ahead.
Has that got a Vestron release?
Yeah, it does.
I don't own it. Probably won't. So.
Is this working? No, all the lights on my PC just went out. I don't think that's a good thing.
We still see you. All right. So do you have a movie that's your worst you've ever seen?
Worst movie I've ever seen.
Or horror, I mean, I guess.
Horror.
Yeah.
That's
Just a really bad one.
I didn't like was it Doom Asylum? So it's like 80s. I had one of their girls in Sex and the City. I forgot which one.
Never saw that.
It was pretty bad, even for 80s standard.
I mean, you got to think like if you're into horror at all, we've seen some shit. Like, I mean,
yeah. And usually that's usually what I grab. Like if you're a low budget filmmaker, like no budget, and you make a film, I'm gonna watch it because I usually like those type of films.
We got another guest popping in. Got
Yeah.
John popping in.
Yeah.
John,
What's up, man?
How y'all doing?
good.
What's going on?
Just wondering, like, what the consensus is. Comedy, in my opinion, is dead as far as movies are concerned. I want to get your take on it.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I mean, you could
Especially with the PC world now.
Yeah, I mean, you can't do anything that might be considered mildly offensive. So
Thank you.
I could totally see that. Like, what's the last? Like, what do you think was like the last great comedy film that came out then?
Well, I can't call a film out like individually, but I can tell you that there will never be another Will Ferrell. There will never be another Jim Carrey. You know,
That's true.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
and all those movies that precluded from that, what do you do with that?
no, I'm with you. I mean, it's definitely going to be.
We're gonna cancel all of them.
Right.
Yeah. Like, I mean, even if you look at like, I guess like the biggest like comedy name right now, I guess like, you know, besides like Sandler or somebody who hasn't been making good films in 20 years.
He's making dramas now.
Yeah, which he's fucking great at if he keeps doing that.
No, Sandler was great when he was supported.
Mhm.
But what Sandler did was he tried to support himself and fund his own movies. And as much money as Sandler has, it's not enough money for Hollywood.
No.
So, you know, he sunk himself.
Yeah, is
Adam Sandler was like he was a huge, like, I love my wife and I both love Adam Sandler, but you know, you can't force the hand. You know what I'm saying? Like, you were backed, and now you're trying to back yourself, and you're figuring out like it's a little harder on your own dime than it was.
Well, that, and also, you know, you don't really have anybody who will honestly tell you if something's not funny, right?
Somebody
So
tell you no.
Yeah, if you're running the show, nobody's going to be like, "Hey, Jack and Jill's a fucking terrible idea for a movie." Like,
Right.
so I was actually, it's cool that you brought up comedy because I don't know if anybody else has watched it. American Pickle that just debuted on HBO Max, the new Seth Rogen film. It actually kind of deals with cancel culture a little bit.
I can't say that I've seen it. I love Seth Rogen, but I'm not an HBO subscriber, so.
No, I totally stole that free trial just to watch it. So
Okay.
yeah, in the next 6 days, that shit's getting canceled. But I wanted to see that movie.
I just found out I got HBO for free. So
Oh, how'd you get it for free?
that's something about AT&T.
I tell you, the other issue with comedy is I don't think there's any other genre that ages tougher than comedy because a lot of it's written based on the time period it's in. And, you know, it takes a really good comedy to stand the test of time. So
It does.
So you mentioned that about the cancel culture, you know, how's that going to age in 10 years? So,
But we go look at Carlin and all his stuff from back in the day is pretty recent, you know, is more grounded in reality now than what it was then.
Well, he saw it coming, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I legitimately feel bad for stand-up comedians right now. Like, you can be, I mean, you could just be, your career could be destroyed for saying something that's a joke. I mean, like, I feel like if you're going to a comedy show or you're watching a comedy movie, nobody. It's not serious. You're not making a statement on society, an ethnic group, a way of life, a lifestyle, whatever somebody's mad about. You're not making an actual comment on those things.
But
first,
hear me out on this. That comment doesn't have to come out on that stand-up. It can come out like 20 years before.
Exactly.
And we're still talking about it now because somebody filmed it,
Well, I mean, it's like gay jokes used to be funny, right? I mean, I'm not saying they're funny. I'm not saying anything about gay people. I'm not, you know what I mean? It's sad that I have to say that you have to come out that you're not a bigot, basically, to speak about any of these things. But like that used to just be the way people spoke, and it was reflected in comedies like the 40-Year-Old Virgin. There's an entire string of "You know how I know you're gay" jokes, right?
Yeah.
And they're fucking hilarious. That's not talking about anybody actually being gay. It's just it's a way heterosexual men interacted around that time. But now, if you did that today, holy shit.
I'm offended.
Yeah.
That whole movie couldn't be made today.
No,
Right.
because it objectifies
I'm
women.
offended.
Yeah, it objectifies. You would say it objectifies women. The whole gay joke thing. People would go nuts over that.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's
Favorite.
Seriously though, I'm sorry to cut you off, but seriously though, I because I'm of the generation that saw epic comedy. Like Lewis Black was by far my favorite. That was my bucket list. My wife took me and crossed that off my bucket list to see Lewis Black live. But you know what I'm saying? Like, minus Lewis Black, who's probably like 100 years old by now, and a Jim Carrey and a Will Ferrell, like, who are we filling this comedy void with? You know what I'm saying? Do you know right now who the biggest paid comedian is?
It's got to be Rogan.
It's Kevin Hart.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, for stand up, yeah.
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart is funny. I think he's funny.
Have you seen his stand up?
Yeah, I think it's a different kind of stand up. Like it's not.
It's a guy that's on cocaine for 2 hours that just.
But
to make fun that he's short.
Yeah, but like you could also say the same things about any comedian who was like, there's always been in time. Yeah, you could make the same arguments about Dane Cook.
You have to have content. You have to have content.
But like anytime there's the number one comedian, there's always that guy. There was Cat Williams at one point that you could like. He got picked apart after
Cat Williams had content before he started getting on drugs and his ass whipped by 16-year-olds. Cat Williams had content.
Dane Cook is probably the weakest of anybody.
Cook had content.
See, I would say that like he had the weakest content. He was his whole shtick was saying things strange, running around that stage.
I would agree with that. But for Cat Williams had immensely more content.
Oh no, he was super funny.
Kevin Hart did.
Super funny. I loved Cat Williams.
Right, but Kevin Hart is the most paid comedian on planet Earth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think there's a little hope because I would say the second place comedian is Bill Burr, and that dude's rich with content.
There are fantastic stand-up comedians out there.
God.
I mean, you have your whole Rogan crew, right? Like those guys are great. Tom Segura, Bill Burr, Burt Kreischer, Theo Vaughn, and those are just the big names.
Still got Dave Chappelle.
Oh, Dave Chappelle is the king.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Very good. Yeah,
The king.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, I think they're kind of treading through a landmine field right now, and
Yeah.
Bill Burr is one guy I'll always point to that just he's got enough power that he can weather that storm a little more, being controversial with some of the things he says. But obviously there are guys that have to tread a little lighter through that. So
Bill Burr's in an interesting spot because like his shtick is almost being controversial, right? So like that's his shtick. So like he can do it and nobody really thinks about it.
It's a weird time, especially for comedy. That's for sure.
Yeah, as far as comedy movies, like if it's not coming out of like a Judd Apatow camp, it's coming out of Happy Madison. So other than that, like they're not making comedies.
But Happy Madison is still.
What did they just do?
That's still Adam Sandler. And like apparently like he found enough money to make a quality movie.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But
Ask them what they thought about that one Adam Sandler movie where it's like he's like
What are you
involved
talking
with
about?
the game. Like,
yeah, what was the Adam Sandler movie that he funded that he's like Kevin Garnett is in it and he's like
He didn't fund it, but he was in it. It's Uncut Gems, and
No,
that is
Uncut Gems, yes. No, he funded that.
I don't think. I mean, A24 put that out. Let me see here who actually. I mean, hell, it may have been a Happy Madison production because I know he actually was not the first choice for that. It was supposed to have been Jonah Hill. Yeah, he's not a producer on it, so yeah, he actually didn't. He was Netflix actually
He
backed
didn't fund
that.
that money.
No, Netflix actually distributed that movie, and A24 put it out in the States. No, he didn't.
What did y'all think about Uncut Gems?
Uncut Gems is my favorite movie of last year. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
My wife can't get through it, but I've seen it.
God, I thought it was fantastic, man. I mean, you want to talk about suspense? That whole time, that whole movie, I felt like I had money on the line.
What are some of y'all favorite movies?
Mine?
Yeah.
Oh man, comedy or just anything?
In
Anything.
general.
Oh, shit, in general. Yeah. What a Man
It's a
on
tough
Fire.
question, ain't it?
Denzel Washington. Searching for Bobby Fischer.
That's some deep cuts.
What are other ones? Wishes, your thing, babe. Robin Williams.
oh,
What dreams may come.
There you go.
That was a good book.
What else?
American Gangster.
My wife
Kong.
likes American Gangster.
That's a fun movie.
You not like it?
No, yeah, of course I like it, but I think there's movies that get deeper to the heart of the trafficking that went on at that time. Honestly, I think what was what the short boy's name? Tom Cruise.
Short Boy.
American Made. American Made.
American Made was fun, man. That was a good movie.
American Made, I think, got more to the heart of running drugs from, Latin America or the Middle East than,
Did you watch the Cocaine Cowboy documentary?
No, I didn't watch that. I saw an episode and I got bored.
That was good. It's good.
It is, man. There's actually 2 of those, isn't there?
Yeah.
What other movies? What are your favorite movies? While I think of mine.
Top 3, Corey. What you got?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I'm trying to think what I said on that episode.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
Jaws is number 1.
Jaws.
Did you get the
My wife
4K?
hates sharks.
Yeah.
Dude, that 4K is beautiful.
I don't have a player.
I like Hoosiers a lot, just because of growing up. And,
Boo.
I love that movie, even though it's a Hoosier movie.
at least
It's not
you've
allowed in
seen
my
it.
home. It's not allowed in my house.
And I'll throw Unforgiven in there as Clint Eastwood. So,
Oh man, great Western.
All right.
Yeah.
Cunningham, what you got? Oh, okay, go ahead.
Let me rattle off a couple more before you begin.
Oh, you're
All
good.
right.
Moneyball.
I like
good
that a
one.
lot.
It's a good
All
movie.
right. And shit. What's the? God damn it. He's taking a pill. He's taking a pill and like it makes him.
Limitless.
Thank you.
It's a good series
all I have to
too.
say.
I don't know if you ever saw that. That series was pretty good.
I didn't like the series. But
Actually kind
the
of
movie was amazing.
Cunningham, top 3. What you got?
Horror or just regular?
Anything.
Anything? I like Network. There's a movie called Being There, which is it's a Criterion release. And favorite movie of all time is probably Beetlejuice.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with number 1 all time's Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Hey, there we go. I like that.
Goodfellas definitely number 1. Number 2 is Pulp Fiction. And number 3 is Halloween. That's
Is that
the
a horror?
most. What is it?
Is that a horror?
What?
OG.
Halloween? Yeah, original Halloween. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh. Yeah, it's always tough. I struggled when we did that on the show that time. I struggled with like the top 10.
Yeah, I thought I could have a top 10, man, but then I'll go back and watch something and be like, damn, that was really, really good.
Yeah.
And I'll just forget how good it is. Like Jackie Brown's in my top 10, like during that video, because I had recently watched Jackie Brown and just forgot how fucking awesome that movie is.
Yeah.
My wife wants to throw one out.
What you got?
A Bronx Tale.
A Bronx Tale. I don't think I've ever seen that, honestly. Yeah.
Scorsese.
Whoops.
I ain't seen it.
Oh, that's a good one. It's with Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
De Niro. It wasn't DiCaprio in it too?
No, that's not it.
No, Bronx Tale's like early.
Yeah, it's pre.
You're talking about Basketball Diaries.
No.
Leonardo DiCaprio. Basketball Diaries.
Okay,
That's a crossover I want to see.
Yeah.
Robert De
What-
Niro
what-
in the Basketball Diaries.
Hey, that's my favorite DiCaprio movie.
Liam
Basketball
Neeson.
Diaries.
Really?
Yes, he
Wow.
was.
Babe, no.
He was.
Dude, he was so good at Wolf of Wall Street. Like,
Yeah, I love that.
I kind of feel like maybe that's just what DiCaprio does on the weekend.
Oh, you're talking.
Yeah.
Like, he just gets way, he takes a bunch of Quaaludes and has to drag himself to his Lamborghini
Gangs
Countach.
in New York. I'm
That's a
thinking.
good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gangs of
I'm
New York
sorry.
is good too.
Yeah.
All right,
Daniel
so
Day-Lewis.
Bronx Tale.
The Bronx Tale was when De Niro was young, when he was like,
Yeah.
it was before Goodfellas, Casino, all that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it was like after Mean Streets. Like after
Yeah.
Mean Streets.
I don't. Why are you giving me? Hello.
Hi.
What's your top 5?
Oh, Goodfellas for sure.
There you go.
I was the one who mentioned American Gangster. Um, I've shown him a lot of movies he's never seen before. Oh, uh, what is it called with Leonardo DiCaprio? The man
The Man in the Iron Mask.
Yep. Gangs of New York.
Gangs of New York's great.
Yeah. And then my top comedian is Will Ferrell. Any Will Ferrell movie.
Early Will Ferrell is awesome.
Oh, The Departed's good.
Oh, The Departed is so good.
That elevator
Oh,
scene.
and The Town. The Town is dope. With Ben Affleck.
Yeah, but it didn't come close to Departed. did it?
No, but I like
When I saw The Departed in theaters, and actually I was on a date with some girl, and she wanted to see it, and I actually had no clue. It wasn't even on my radar. So like when I saw it and thought, and it was awesome, I was fucking blown away. So
Yeah, but that's not a relationship that lasts.
it did.
Like
Yeah.
the movie's wonderful, but if a woman asks me like, "Hey, I would love to see The Departed with you," yeah, I'll go see the movie, but I'm not too invested in the relationship.
What was the first movie y'all seen?
Together?
Yeah.
The first in the theater? Oh,
Yeah.
I do know that. No. The first movie
That's a
we
fun.
saw
That's a fun question.
in
Yeah.
the theater.
that is a
The first movie we saw in a theater was Creed 2.
There you go.
Yeah.
And both them Creed movies were amazing.
Yeah.
They're pretty good, man. They really are good.
It's
What about you, Corey?
example.
Corey, what about you and your lady friend? What's the first thing you took her to see?
Well, this one was The Dark Tower. Which,
Ooh.
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 but you know what? I have an issue with Adam Sandler because with the ex-wife, the first thing we saw together was Big Daddy, and
It's a good movie, though. He didn't do anything wrong to you.
that's true. Well, he
Scuba
sparked.
Steve.
What about you? What about you down there, man? What was your first with your lady?
It was Ocean 12.
Oh man,
that was
the
the
worst.
ocean.
You can
Yeah.
you can you can
Worst
really
of 'em.
you can date these relationships, by the way. But
Man.
mine and my wife's our first date, we went to see Texas Chainsaw 3D.
Oh.
And then I took her back home and she was like, "Yeah, I'm not ready for a relationship right now." We bailed out of the car. And then like a year later we got married. So it's fine.
Seriously,
letting her-
hey, imagine this though. Like, imagine the guy that said he went to Ocean's 12.
Mhm.
Imagine how different that relationship might have wound up if you saw Ocean's 11 or 13.
That's true.
Because 12, my wife and I are in complete agreement on this. 12 was a horrible plot.
But to be honest, I really wasn't paying attention to the movie.
Well,
If you get what I'm saying.
well, maybe she was, and that's why,
No, my wife got full on like horror nerd for me. I'm like, you see that guy in the corner? That's Bill Moseley. Bill Moseley was in Texas Chainsaw 2.
man.
And she still married me.
Let me ask you, Cunningham. Do you have kids?
Yeah, I got a 4-year-old.
Okay, well, if
Getting ready to be 5 tomorrow.
if you saw Ocean's 11, you might have like 5 kids by now. So
That's true.
Yeah. We started late.
Yeah, you may have started that night.
Man.
have a kid as old as that movie.
What was the first movie y'all saw in theaters? Like, just you. Do you remember your first theater experience?
God, I saw All That Jazz.
That's also like the #1 video on your channel, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's All That Jazz. Yeah.
I don't know why, as a 3-year-old, I wanted to see that movie, but I did. I guess the commercial was killer.
What about you guys? What was y'all's first theater? Do you remember it?
I was told it was Follow That Yellow Bird, the Sesame Street one. But the one I remember was Problem Child.
Nice.
And actually, we were given the tickets at school. If we showed up every day, we got a free ticket to either see Problem Child or another movie.
Yeah.
So
imagine that. You have to show up every
yeah.
day. You have to show up every day, and your reward is you get to watch Problem Child.
And Problem Child, and today they couldn't do that because Problem Child, you watch it today, there's curse words, so you ain't gonna give that to a elementary kid.
Man, I didn't get your name down in the corner there. What's your name?
John.
John. Okay.
John.
Yeah.
What was your first theater experience? Will you remember your first movie you saw in theaters?
Man, honestly, I think I can say I do, but I don't remember the name. And the reason I don't remember the name is because it's not worth remembering. It was a Steven Seagal.
Ooh.
And
Under Siege.
Man, he was on this boat and he
Under Siege.
It could have been. How old are you guys?
I'm 30.
38.
All right, I'm 34.
Mm-hmm.
He was on this boat and he's just killing everybody.
Yeah.
That's definitely Under Siege.
It might have been Under Siege. That might have been a good guess.
Just whipping that beautiful ponytail back and forth and whipping ass.
Of course. Right. And slapping people in the face with it, knocking them out. Yeah.
Billy Bob Thornton's in that one.
Oh shit, he is.
Really?
Yeah. He's like
Billy Bob Thornton's from Arkansas.
Oh yeah? Is that where you're from?
Just saying.
So
I'm not saying I'm from there. I'm just saying.
Yes, we are.
You're Arkansas.
Little Rock.
Little Rock. North of Rock. It's a different city, but yes.
Oh.
I had a very, very good movie for my first movie in theaters. I was 4 years old, and it's still one of my favorite movies to this day, Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, I remember when it came out.
We watched that today.
I fucking love that movie.
We watched that today.
I can quote it all day long.
Oh my god, it may be the most quotable movie of all time.
Right.
And the sequels are.
Oh,
She said she was from Austria. He's like, "Oh, good night, Mike."
There was so much I didn't pick up on, obviously, as a kid. But like the greatest line in that movie is still like, "This is the Rockies." I sure thought the Rockies would be a lot rockier than this.
that's John Denver's full
John
of shit.
Denver's full of shit, man. Like, we're gonna go to someplace warm, Aspen.
Oh, California.
That whole movie, man, it is, and just the subtle stuff that's like not set up for a punchline, and you kind of have to go back and go, wait, what did he say?
Man, honestly, I kind of feel bad for you because, like, if that's your first theater experience, like, it's all downhill for you. But
yeah, well, I mean, it was definitely fun. I'm glad that got to be my first.
That has got to be like I said, we just watched that today.
God, it's great.
You know,
no way. We landed on the moon, everybody.
I'm dead serious.
You know that line was ad-libbed, like that with the we landed on the moon thing. He just did that.
Wow.
But anyways, not to get
the second one that Jeff Daniels and Jim Carrey did together, Dumb and Dumber 2, TOO, not TWO, or the number 2. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, that was terrible. What?
It was terrible.
It
Terrible.
was terrible.
It was worse.
It wasn't the first, but it was damn fucking funny.
The best
Come on,
Forced.
The best part of the first one was kind of like they weren't in on the joke. Like nobody in the you were looking at these characters as dumbfounded as the rest of the people in that world were. And it was just two set up punchline. in the sequel. Like they were acting all goofy, like we're Lloyd. And, yeah.
This is too
I
long.
mean, there was still some originality in the second.
There was funny lines, but they actually made them too stupid in the second movie.
I agree with that. It took me a couple of times to like it.
I loved it. I loved it.
Maybe I need a second viewing.
Remembering the childhood Dumb and
My
Dumber
biggest
bit.
problem with that movie is they waited way too long to do it.
Yeah,
They did. Do you guys remember the animated show?
yeah.
Yeah.
Everything in the
Dumb and
90s got it. Yeah, there was a Dumb and Dumber animated show. Everything in the 90s got an animated show. Friday had an animated show. I just found that out the other day.
I didn't know that.
Mr. Bean had an animated show.
Yeah, I mean, there was an Ace Ventura animated show.
I guess the biggest one was Beetlejuice. That was a pretty big cartoon.
Yeah, I watched the cartoon way before I knew that there was a Beetlejuice movie.
Right.
Wow.
Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah, Tales from the Crypt Keeper.
Mm-hmm.
God, Tales from the Crypt was so good.
Did you ever watch that?
No,
It was a crazy show.
I don't watch scary shit. But I'm kind of, you know.
How'd you find yourself here?
The honest answer to that question is I'm a troll, and I try to look for people I can troll. But when I find, you know, like good conversation, I have to partake and leave my troll beside.
Well, cool, man. We appreciate
Cool.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, his
No,
plan was to be a douchebag first.
Hell, we're
But
just-
you guys have been way too cool, and I was just like, nah. I mean, they're talking real stuff. Like, there's so many people on YouTube that are talking about absolute nonsense that I just want to be like, just completely fuck their life up with. But I mean, when I hear real people talking about real things like this, I have to respect that. So I'll put my troll back in my bag, and you know,
well, we
I'll
appreciate
troll
not being
somebody
trolled.
else. Yeah, well, come on, man. Like this is good stuff. I enjoy my time here. So
We've enjoyed it too, sir.
Those people you're talking about, actually. I need to. But yeah. Oh man.
There's-
Well, we've been going a
there's
couple
so
hours.
many people. There's so many people on YouTube that think that because they live, they should, for whatever reason, be YouTube famous, as long as they just like project their life, and that's not the case. You know what I mean? Like,
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
you know, we live the same life you do, buddy. The fact that you put your shit online doesn't mean that it's it for you. You're not viral tomorrow.
There's a lot of people that are YouTube famous, and I'm like, why?
It's the same reason like the
Thank
Jersey
you for
Shore,
that. Thank
like
you
the-
for that. Yes.
the dipshits from the Jersey Shore and all that shit. Like this is just the natural progression for that. It's just outlandish
So-
people. Like
I've been doing this shit for years and nothing. So
And how dumb does that make us look as Americans? Like, this is what we want. What goes viral is some fucking idiot that had a thought. You know, in the last 5 years, you had one thought, and that thought isn't even like a real thought because you put it out and it went viral. Oh my God, you know what? I don't really think the sky's blue.
there you go.
And that's it. And
the
that's
Earth
all
is
you
flat.
need.
The Earth
Yeah,
is
the
flat
Earth's
thing
flat.
has
The
caught
Earth's
way
flat.
too much traction.
we have people that really believe that the Earth is flat.
Yeah,
The Earth
We're,
is flat.
we're supposed to be the most developed, educated, sophisticated country on planet Earth, and we have douchebags every single day telling you, you know what? The world is really probably flat. All right. Go hop off that motherfucker then.
But the conspiracy theory part of YouTube is probably like one of my favorite parts of YouTube.
Oh yeah.
It is so much fun.
I love it too, but my problem with that is that the real conspiracies are not the one, like the community doesn't latch on to the real conspiracies, like the ones that really need focus on. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll talk about flat Earth all day long. I mean, come on. But there's real conspiracies out there that no one ever even fathoms. Like, for example, 9/11, of course, like everyone knows that conspiracy, but about maybe 3% of the American population knows that 9/11, the World Trade Center, World Trade 7 fell and imploded along with the Twin Towers.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there no media coverage at all on that. None.
No. And I'm sure there's reason for that too, right? You're saying like real conspiracies get buried probably because somebody's burying them. Probably.
You want to hear another one?
Yeah.
HIV is not a sexually transmitted disease.
Okay, that one I haven't heard.
Okay, well, this one gets deep, but yes, there's enough out there. It is not a sexually transmitted disease. And that's why the kid that, you know, is your poster child for, you know, I'm about to die from AIDS is also the same poster child for I've done drugs for the last 20 years of my life. HIV affects communities completely different. In America, it's 80% male, 20% female. But how is that even possible when, like, being, no offense, but the receptionist of a sexual encounter, how does she only contract 20% of the problem? Whereas in Africa, it's 50-50. Right? Here, 80% of cases are male. Africa, 50-50. Well, I guess HIV hates American men.
That'll be one to look into.
I'm telling you, that whole shit, and let's be honest now, being that we don't have a cure today, why are we not even talking about it?
My back. Yeah. I'll leave you with one because I think I'm probably going to turn in here just a minute. Just because we did it on the podcast a couple weeks ago. The Wayfair thing. What do you think? What do you think about the Wayfair thing? You know what I'm talking about?
Is that me?
Yeah, that's you.
I'm sorry. I was still going on about my HIV, but what now?
Oh, I was about to say, well, the Wayfair conspiracy. What do you think about that?
Wayfair. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Well, it's a deep dive. I mean, actually it was everywhere. It was supposed to have something to do with child trafficking. Basically, like you go on Wayfair and there'd be like cabinets for like $50,000 for no reason, and they were trying to pin that in some way back to child trafficking.
I have not heard of that.
Yeah, it's like the big one right now. So
that sounds like something that you would hear on tour. Like, why have I not heard about that?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was all. Yeah, I think it even made like mainstream news. Like, a couple weeks ago. It was so big we talked about it on the podcast.
I know there's a lot going on about sex trafficking, but not.
Yeah, we haven't heard about that.
That's one to look at. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But guys, I hate to do it, man, but I'm gonna have to hop off here. It's after midnight.
No.
I'm sure there's probably somebody live streaming Fortnite that you could fuck with. Like,
Yeah, but they are no fun, man. I'd much rather be here, but I understand. Gentlemen, salute. It was
very much
fun.
appreciate you coming in, man. It was a good time.
All
Thanks
right.
for not trolling us.
Yeah.
Next time. Next time. Y'all be good.
All right,
Thank
peace.
you, man.
Wow.
It was
Well,
fun.
all right. So I guess we'll sign it off. We've been on like 2 hours, 15 minutes. So
Yeah.
had a
My kid's already woke up once, so
Gentlemen, thank you. This is my first stream, so appreciate
share social
Man,
media. You said you just do YouTube, right?
it. Yeah, I'm under Lost Cunningham. I mainly do horror books on my channel. So
Okay.
other than that, that's all I got.
Everybody check him out. Give him a sub. Jonathan, hit your socials.
I blanked. Bombastic Reviews here on YouTube, Smores Indoors Podcast.com, of course. Bombastic Reviews on Facebook, and soon to be bombasticreviews.com. I'm working on that.
Nice. I'm at Smores Indoors 76 on Instagram. And we have the Smores Indoors Podcast here on YouTube and Facebook. And of course, SmoresIndoorsPodcast.com for the podcast, which will be dropping probably Monday or Tuesday at the latest. And
It's gonna be a surprise show for us too. So we'll all find out together.
our way through it. But guys, it's been a fun night. Cunningham, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Maybe we can get you and your brother on at some point, because I think we're probably gonna make this a weekly thing, right, Corey? I mean, this is fun to get around and bullshit.
We may
That's
have
real
to,
cool.
I may have to hit you up with the link to join us privately, but
But say, like, because I mean, no, he was fine. Like he was fine. He was fine. But we had two people at the beginning.
yeah, we had a couple trolls pop in. So
Did you see anything on those guys though?
no,
I didn't see anything come up. So
I couldn't even see their video stream. So I saw his video and I was like, well, whatever, we'll throw him in. So
yeah, it came out. That was fun. It's funny that he was a troll though, because I kept thinking like he doesn't like horror movies. Why would you even find this thing? Like, why would you find us if you don't like horror movies?
gosh. All right, guys. Well, we'll talk to you soon.
See you
Peace
tomorrow.
out.